Sup peeps, my name's Ian. I sell books on eBay. You might already know that. What have we got going on today? Yeah, some, not much, but some. It's been better. Some good sales, some okay sales. Thankfully, no sales where I forgot to have postage on the listing, so that's a bonus. 11 orders in total going out. A couple of singles, quite a few bundles. Some of it's a wee bit interesting. Some of it's not, but I'm going to show you it all anyway, and we'll see how that works out. Still got a lot of listing to get done. I'm really not keeping up with that at all the last couple of days. I had planned on a big listing day yesterday, and then life happened, so that didn't happen. Ended up only listing about, was that 140, 50, 60, 70, yeah, just shy of £200 worth listed, which is way off my target for the days. But this week's sales have been quite good. The trend has gone as I predicted. So I had a couple of average days, one day quite a bit above average, another average day. Today will be below average. Tomorrow and Thursday will be abysmal. And then Friday should be quite good again. That's the pattern. So I'm curious to see whether or not that actually happens. If it does, the pattern's consistent, so I know what's coming. But just need to keep trying to push up the daily average sales a wee bit at a time. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days, but I want to see that low amount going up. Up to about £130 a day in sales at the moment, average across this month. That's down slightly on last month. We were at 139 a day last month for the whole month, and last month was bad, so it's slowly creeping up. Might get a couple of good days towards the end of the month to pull it up a little bit further, but a half decent day when you've already had 26 days of the month gone doesn't make a huge difference to the average. So another, it always feels like a disappointing month, doesn't it? But I suppose it's not really. The overall sales are slowly creeping up as I get more stock in. It's always proportionate, and it's always frustrating. You have that one good day and you've got lots more stuff like that, and then the next day it settles back down. But like I say, last 24 hours has been okay. I've done a bit above average, not a massive amount. Where were we? £150 in sales yesterday. So let's say my average has been 130, so it was just a wee bit above. If it keeps going for the next 6 days, then it could end up being an okay month, but it just getting that many good days in a row doesn't happen. I've had 4 okay days, 110, 150, 240, 150, and I don't have another run that good anywhere in the month. Just scanning back, yeah, it's not happened. So that's my best 4 days in a row this month, and still not great. It's a bit above the 150 average, but the average I'm looking for is 200 a day. That's what I want to get to. That's what actually allows this to be some sort of a sustainable business and income. And let's say this week, what are we on? 300, 540, 650 across 4 days. So about 160, 165 a day at the moment. So still a wee bit shy, and I don't expect that to be maintained through the week. It's just not going to happen. eBay doesn't do that for you, does it? But I may be pleasantly surprised. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. Well, I suppose we are. But I want to show you some orders. And the first one is 7 Just William hardcover books from the 40s through to the 60s. Now, I had these listed for a wee while. A guy who just gives me old books because he used to collect them, and he gave me these a wee while back, 7 of them, some in good condition, some in okay condition, one without a dust jacket, and let's say they're from different eras all the way through. Some Just William books, first editions from particularly the war era, when there weren't a huge amount published. or printed I should say, can sell really, really well. This one, for example, was first published in 1952, but this is the 6th abridged impression from 1964, William and the Tramp. So not a huge amount of value in them, selling them individually. So I had this lot. I've got a couple of these listed separately, but I had this lot and I just stuck them up for 40 quid plus postage. So 43.99 for those 7 books, which is a bargain. Somebody's getting a wee bit of a steal, but I'm glad just to get them moved in one go. So that's quite good. So that was a good start to the sales period. It's 2:15 yesterday afternoon. It was a slow start. So yeah, 43.99, really good start to it. Next, not a great value sale, but quite nice for what it is. A couple of Douglas Adams from way back when's. I think they might be first Ed's paperbacks. No, not. They're not. Ignore me, I'm talking nonsense. But $8.99 for the 2 of those. So again, nice for what they are. One, I don't think I've ever sold this author before, although I've got a few, and I've actually got a small bundle that I've just never bothered listing because none of them ever seem to get any interest. But Rachel Housel Hall has sold Trail of Echoes. That went for £6.84. So, you know, you just got to be patient and things will sell eventually. Next, for £13.59, a wee stack of Linda LaPlante. So it's weird that I was looking for that book yesterday. Don't even remember talking about it. Just because it wasn't where it was supposed to be, and just because I was thinking about it, somebody bought some, or maybe it was one of you guys. I don't know. Rob, Big Rob, maybe. Anyway, 5 Linda LaPlante books, £13.59. So a nice wee bundle of those heading out. They might be over the 2 kilos, but that's okay because it's over £10 order value. Next, another single book. Clarinet for Dummies. I like the Dummies series. I say some of them are worth a wee bit more than others. So this was £12.32, that's including postage. So that's quite a good price for a wee Dummies book that you can pick up a lot cheaper than that. I've got a few of these to list, not that particular one, but I've got a few more Dummies books to list. Most of them are, you know, oh, this one, it's got a CD and everything. Most of them sell for £3.54 quid, and then I stick postage on it. But let's say that one's going for a wee bit more, so £12.32, and I think that's an international. Yes, going international. So I don't know to who or to where, but it's going international. So again, not a bad resale on its own. Next, 3 Dickie Osmonds. We've got Thursday Murder Club, Bullet That Missed, and The Man Who Died Twice. So that's the first 3 books in the cycle, the series, the however many he ends up writing of them, and they went for £9.69. I've got a lot of copies of the Thursday Murder Club for obvious reasons. Everybody had it, and then everybody handed it into the charity shops. So it doesn't sell very often. The other 2 sell okay, but the first one doesn't sell often. So I'll maybe see if I've got how many The Man Who Died and The Bullets That Missed I've got sitting, and I'll maybe make up a few 1, 2, 3 packs and put them on for a tenner and see how they go, which is kind of what happened with this one. You'll not be able to see that. It's Holly Jackson, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I think it's been on the telly, but there's 3 in the series altogether. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Girl, and As Good as Dead, all by Holly Jackson, the author. And the 3 of them pre-bundled, pre-made up that way, sold for £10.99. Oh, another £10 bundle. A little book all on its own next. Conversations with God, Book 1, by Neil Donald Walsh. An Uncommon Dialogue. This one kind of intrigued me slightly. Every now and again I see these and I really want to have a read at them and see where people are coming from. I'm not religious, I'll be honest, but I don't not believe in stuff. If somebody can provide some sort of basis evidence, I'll quite happily jump on that bandwagon. But books like this kind of intrigue me. So what's it say? Suppose you could ask God the most puzzling questions about existence. Questions about love and faith, life and death, good and evil. Suppose God provided clear, understandable answers. It happened to Neil Donald Walsh. It can happen to you. You're about to have a conversation. So, what was it? Walsh, oh yeah, that's it. So he was at a low point in his life. He decided to write a letter to God, venting his frustrations. But what he did not expect was a response. As he finished his letter, he was moved to continue writing, and out came these extraordinary answers to his questions. They will amaze you with complex paradoxes that make perfect sense, profound logic and astounding truths. Here are answers that bring together as one the deeper meaning of all beliefs and traditions. Here are answers that will change you, your life, and the way you view other beings. For those with an open mind, a limitless curiosity, and a sincere desire to seek the truth, this book is stunning. So he wrote his letter, and then he kept writing, and he answered all his own questions. So, where do those answers come from? Do they come from something exterior? Or is it just his own mind taking the opportunity to process and come up with potential solutions and answers to what he's been going on about? I don't know, but let's say these things are curious. I've done a lot of writing over the years, and it always amazes me. I'm not very good at it, let's just get that bit clear. But you start with something. You know, I've written a wee bit of fiction, and you start with a kind of simple premise. You know, you've got like a wee opening, you've got a character, but then all of a sudden this whole world evolves. Things happen that were never in here. No idea where they came from. Obviously they do come from your mind somewhere, but just by putting things down, writing things down, you make connections. It's the same when you're studying, you know, that's why you write notes, because it lets the brain make different connections. So when you're doing anything like that, you write it down, things fire about in the old grey matter, and it comes up with something new that you've not thought about before. It's a good feeling. But is it God? We shall see. Well, maybe we won't, who knows. But yeah, writing's very good for that kind of thing. So, you know, if whenever you've got something you're trying to work out, whenever you've got something that you're thinking about, even if you know it all in your head, write it down. And not like necessarily even typing it out, but, you know, proper handwritten, writing it down, scoring things out, changing things around, moving it around, rewriting it, doing it, and all of a sudden things will start and do start to take on a life of their own, create their own structure, and you end up somewhere where you didn't know you were going to get to at the start. That's what I always find anyway. But that's probably just me, and everybody's different. Anyway, next order. Edward Marsden. Marston, not Marsden, Marston. We've got A Christmas Railway Mystery, so must be Easter. The Station Master's Farewell. Slaughter in the Sapperton Tunnel. Homicide in Chicago, and A Ticket to Oblivion. I wouldn't be getting that train. In fact, looking at the titles of these, I don't think I'd be getting on any train ever again if they're written well. But that's 5 of those, $12.99. So a wee $12.99 one for that lot. I've got quite a few of his books at the moment. They went quite well for a wee while and then just stopped dead, and that's a wee bundle gone, so maybe I'll get a bit of a run on them now. Next, a couple of orders to go. We've got 5 James Patterson hardcover Alec Cross books. So it's some of the early ones. I can't even remember what we've got. Cat and Mouse, Violets Are Blue, Four Blind Mice, When the Wind Blows, and Pop Goes the Weasel. So 5 of them, obviously you can see that was a pre-made bundle in itself, and they went for $16.99 for the 5 of them. I don't pay any more for the hardcovers than I do the paperbacks, so that's quite a nice wee sale. Obviously £6 to post tax, it's a big bundle, so it's again a kind of £10 to £13 sale if it was normal postage, if that makes sense. And last, another author I've got a few of, and I don't know if I've ever sold any before, but I'll keep picking them up because I always like the look of them. Raymond E. Feist. I may have sold some before, but I don't think I don't recall. Anyway, we've got volume 1, 2 and 4 of the Serpent War saga. So that's Shadow of a Dark Queen, Rise of a Merchant Prince, and shards of a broken crown. And I had about half a dozen of these that I've been stacking up to add to the listing, and they've been sitting potentially for weeks because I just like, oh, there's one, and there's one, oh, there's a couple. So this morning when I saw that sale going out, I just went in and updated that listing there and then, so that if that one sale does get a bit of momentum, there's more choice there for people to buy stuff, which is really, really important with the whole selling stuff on eBay thing. If you've got a listing that is a multi-item listing, or one of the variation listings, multi-item, whatever way it is, when it gets a bit of traction, it starts to sell better. There's absolutely no doubt. If you've just got one-off items all the time, they will sell when people want them. If you've got something that's got multiples, if a couple of people go in and buy from that, then the algorithm recognises that this is a popular item and it will push it to more people, so you will get more sales. And I see that again and again and again. If I sell, one lot, 2 lots, then I'll sell 5 lots over the next couple of weeks, assuming I've got the stock. So if you have anything like that, I had maybe 8 books listed in that bundle, sold 3 of them, so I've stuck another, I think it was 6, back into that listing, and that will hopefully allow if there are another couple of sales out there for them, I'll get them because there'll be stock available. So if you've got anything like that, you've got a wee stack of books waiting to go, if you're selling anything from that listing, get them on there because you want to keep that momentum going. Every now and again, when you're scrolling through eBay, you'll see this item is trending. That's what you want on all your listings with our multis. This item is trending, because then people are going to go back and buy again and again and again, because eBay will shove it under their noses again and again and again. Makes sense, doesn't it? Anywho, what was the total value for all of those orders? Which is always different from my in-day sales. So yesterday I did 150 quid midnight to midnight, but from 2:15 yesterday afternoon until 20 to 9 this morning, I did 166. So those 11 orders, £166. So that's going to be £50 to £60 profit. Then less cost of books, etc. I don't even know how many books I've got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 29. So let's say 30 books that I've paid for, and about 25 pence each. So anywhere between £7 and £10 for all of those. So take that off the 50, 60 quid profit. And that's an alright day for the effort involved. But it would be nice to put in 4 times as much effort and make 4 times as much money, or 10 times as much money, or 20, or even twice. Yes, so £166 in orders, 11 orders. I'll get these packed up, taken to the post office, or the post box, or the parcel box, or whichever bit I'm passing when I go out to buy something for my lunch. And that's it. I just keep looking about. I've got so much to list. I really just need to get on with it. Every time I go out, I think, oh well, I'm just passing, I'll pop in, and I end up coming back with more. I've now got 8 big bags, 50 books a bag I get roughly. I've got 8 of them stuck out in the dry because I don't even have the space to process them. I've got about 40 or 50 pre-made bundles to get listed. Still 300-400 books to add to my variation listings, and then 500 or 600 books in the room next door that will just go in as single books. So yeah, I've got so much to get listed. I need to stop picking up books. I won't be able to, but I need to stop. I'm going to avoid them today. I'm going to avoid them tomorrow. I may pop in somewhere on Thursday just because I'll be passing. It's a wee bit out of the way, but I'll be out that way anyway, so I might just go in and see if they've got anything. But why do we keep doing that? Is it that fear of missing out? I think it is. Whenever I go to the places where I can get a big stack, there's nearly always something in there that I'm absolutely delighted to find. It might be something for myself, which is the best thing, to be honest, or it could be a handful of wee gems that can sell for 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 pounds, you never know. But when you go and you do that, you might have spent 50 quid and picked up hundreds of books, but you know that you can sell 4 or 5 of those and completely recoup all your costs in profit, and then everything else, it's just gravy after that. So it's always tempting to go in and just, they might have that little something special. So yesterday I got my John Connolly. I was delighted with that. I picked up that N.K. Jemisin, the 5th season, that I want to read at some point. So it was worth it just to get those two for myself. I mean, I think I spent 30 quid on books, which to some might seem an awful lot. It's quite a low amount for me, to be honest, on a one pickup. But I was over 100 books, a couple for myself, and some really good bread and butter for the variation listings in amongst that, and a handful of things that looked interesting. I took a wee gamble on. I don't think I got anything yesterday that's particularly valuable on its own. There's a few in there that can sell for £6, £7, £8, but to be honest, I sell my £3 books for £6 anyway, because I add postage to it. So there might be something a wee bit better in amongst those, but not particularly. But it's still worth it just to find things like that. I was so delighted to see that. Really, really, really happy to see that. And it wasn't the other day before. It might not have been the other day after, but I managed to get it. So that was great. I love it. And that's why I just keep going in. But unfortunately, I just start filling bags. I've got a wee bit of space left out in the garage, so as long as I bag them up and cover them up, I can store them out there till I process them and just pick out the good stuff. But it's even getting to the point with the books I've got stacked up for my variations listings are getting into a bit of a jumble. So usually I'll store them by author so that I can say, oh, I've now got, for example, 5 Mohader books, and get them listed. That's worth going into the listing to do that. But I've been picking up so much and just adding to the stacks lately that they're all a bit jumbled up. So in fact, once I've done this packing up, I'm going to spend a wee 20 minutes, half an hour, and just sort through all of them and get them back into order so I can see what I've got for each author and which ones are in the big bundles ready to go. And I've done some of that. I've got a stack of Martina Cole, a wee stack of Lee Child, big stack of Harry Potter, stack of Peter May, and who's that down there? Ian Rankin, a wee stack of Lisa Jewell. So I've got all of them ready to go, but I need to sort out the rest and make it easier and get it down to a level where it's then easy to do that. Anyway, I'm just blethering on and talking mince now. So what else do we have? Oh yes, comments. The whole Terry Pratchett thing. That took off a bit, didn't it? That was a good chat. Yeah, it was great to see what everybody thought about Terry Pratchett. Obviously he's popular for good reason, but I was really disappointed to see, who was it said it? Edward Sierpolsky, that there's a block on there being anything other than just straight reprints of the books. It's good in that they can't come in and ruin it. I spoke about something a wee while ago about, you know, who could write new Discworld books. They would ruin them. Let's leave it where it is. The guy was brilliant. He did what he did. Don't disrespect it and ruin it. Maybe give it 50 years and then somebody come back and rewrite something then. But for now, leave them alone. But there being a complete ban on using it anywhere, I think that's disappointing. I think there was huge potential to make something absolutely brilliant on the screen from some of Terry Pratchett's work. A lot better than the absolute crud that has been done. But yeah, Good Omens. It was alright, but if you like either Neil Gaiman or Terry Pratchett, it wasn't a great bit of television. And somebody else, where was it, mentioned, what was it? I can't find it, but somebody suggested it should be done like with animation, CGI, and that sparked straight away Studio Ghibli, however you say it, you know, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, perfect. Totoro, My Neighbour Totoro, that is one of my all-time favourite movies. If you've not seen it, watch it. It's just perfect. But Spirited Away, you can imagine that making a Discworld movie. That would be absolutely fantastic. And then you can have any voice actor you like, really, can't you? So yeah, that was disappointing to hear that that's the case. I'm taking your word for it. Maybe you just made that up, but I'm taking your word for it. It should be. So aye, that was a good wee chat. That aye, lots and lots and lots. So loads of comments from loads of people all about that there. Rinsewin should be Mackenzie Crook. Let's read, resell, repeat. Had a second video out recently. Go watch it. Mackenzie Crook. I don't know. It's just a bit too BBC. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, there it was. Jeffrey Smith. Jeffrey Smith, my main man. It was him that suggested Discworld. It has to be animated or CGI. So there we go. But yeah, that was a good bit of chat. So what was it? Space Lord. Yes, I agree. When I watch my own videos, I don't see the ads. The number of ads in your videos is insane. Some go for over 40 minutes. Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of the stuff I'm watching. The ads seem to be coming up every couple of minutes, and it's slightly frustrating, especially the non-skippable ones. But there's a wee hack, right? I watch YouTube on my telly rather than anywhere else, so it'll be slightly different than what you're doing. But see, if you're watching it on the telly, right, and an advert comes up, don't tell anyone I'm telling you this, right? You probably know it. Push up to get the wee information thing that tells you about this ad. Click on that. Then it gives you options about the advert, and one of them's stop seeing this ad. Click on that, and then click on return to video. It stops the ad dead and lets you back in. So if it's a longer advert, you can skip it that way, which means I'm not going to get anything from YouTube because you're skipping the adverts. But you know, what does it really matter? It's when you get those long adverts on and they're an age to skip. I use that all the time. Up info about this thing, blah blah blah. Try it, you'll see what I mean. And some ads don't get skipped that way, but I find the vast majority do, the way I watch them. So yeah, it's a hack. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all so much for your time today, as ever. Comments, likes, subscribes, all of these things. I want these videos to spread as far as possible. Make me a millionaire. Well, maybe pay for a new camera. That would be good, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's it. See ya. Love ya. Bye.